Baking from home, selling those famous family pickles to your neighbors, or, maybe running a small tiffin service right out of your apartment. It sounds like the absolute perfect side hustle, right? But if you're doing all this without formalizing your business, you might actually be breaking the law.
Yeah, in fact, you could be facing a fine of up to 5 lakh rupees. Operating an unregistered food business in India is literally not something the authorities take lightly. I mean, this massive potential fine is a stark reminder of the high stakes involved in noncompliance, even if you're just a one-person operation cooking from your own kitchen. But hey, don't let this number panic you, because getting compliant is actually way easier than you think.
Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to demystify the 2026 FSSAI licensing process for small food businesses in India. Whether you're an aspiring home baker, a cloud kitchen owner, or running a cozy little food stall, we're going to transform this, seemingly daunting bureaucratic requirement into an empowering step-by-step roadmap for your business growth. Let's get into it. All right, so here's our game plan for today. 1. Why you need FSSI. 2. Finding your license tier. 3. Home kitchen-specific rules. 4. The 7-step FoSCoS process. And 5. Avoiding costly compliance mistakes.
Okay, let's dive right into Section 1. Why you need FSSAI. It's an absolute legal necessity. So, what exactly is it? Well, FSSAI stands for the Food Safety and Standards Authority of India. It's basically the single regulatory gateway under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Their whole job is to protect both the consumer and you, the seller. And the absolutely crucial point here is that their rules apply universally. I mean, whether you're running a giant multi-state manufacturing factory or just a single-person home kitchen, you are under their umbrella. It's a strict legal necessity.
But we really need to reframe how we think about this license. Sure, it helps you avoid fines, closure orders, or heaven forbid, imprisonment. But more importantly, this license is a massive growth enabler. It shields your brand from liability. It unlocks your ability to onboard with major delivery platforms like Swiggy, Zomato, and those quick commerce apps, because honestly, they won't even talk to you without it. Having that little FSSAI logo on your packaging builds instant customer trust. Plus, if you ever want to scale up and need a bank loan or an investor, this certificate just proves your professionalism. It's literally the ultimate tool for an empowered entrepreneur.
Moving on to Section 2, finding your license tier. You've got to choose the right path here so you don't waste your application fees. So, FSSAI classifies businesses into 3 main tiers, and this is based heavily on your annual turnover. At the basic level, we have basic registration. Traditionally, this is for micro businesses earning up to 12 lakh rupees a year, which is perfect for home cooks in small stalls. Notice it's actually called a registration, not a full license. Then, right in the middle, we have the state license, and this is for those earning between 12 lakh and 20 crore rupees. This is where your local restaurants and small manufacturers usually sit. And finally, at the top end, the central license is for those massive operations above 20 crore, or multi-state chains and importers. It is absolutely vital you know exactly where you fit in here to avoid your application getting rejected. Now hold on, because here is a highly crucial update for 2026. According to the latest guidelines, as of April 1st, 2026, the basic registration turnover threshold has actually been increased to 1.5 crore rupees. This is subject to your applicable category, of course, but man, this is fantastic news for small entrepreneurs. It gives you so much more runway to grow your revenue under that simpler, way more affordable basic registration tier before you ever have to worry about upgrading to a complex state license. All right, let's jump to Section 3, Home Kitchen Specific Rules. Let's talk about the rules specifically for home cooks. Listen to this quote. Online presence does not exempt anyone. There is this really dangerous myth floating around out there that if you only sell through Instagram or WhatsApp, you don't need to follow FSSAI rules because, well, you don't have a physical storefront. Actually, scratch that. That is 100% false. The law treats digital sales channels exactly the same as offline ones, no exceptions. So, what exactly do you need to do if you're cooking from home? First off, you must maintain hygienic storage and always use safe drinking water while strictly separating raw and cooked food during preparation. If you're a home baker, accurate allergen labeling, stuff like nuts, dairy, and gluten, is absolutely crucial to reduce your liability. Running a tiffin service? You're going to need to maintain fixed menu records and cleaning schedules for surprise audits. And what if you run a cloud kitchen with multiple different brands out of one space? Well, you must register every single brand under the exact same premise license because FSSAI tracks the physical address, not just the brand name. To see how this works in the real world, let's look at a quick case study of a home baker in Bengaluru. She started really small, just baking for neighbors, and smartly got her basic registration right out of the gate. This allowed her to easily onboard onto a major food delivery app. Because she boldly printed her registration number on all her boxes, she built incredible platform trust. Fast forward 18 months later, her revenue spiked and she smoothly upgraded to a state license, added a commercial oven, and even hired staff. Following this structured process literally paved the way for her real, scalable growth. Which brings us to Section 4, the 7-step FoSCoS process. Let's look at your application roadmap.
So, you're ready to apply, right? Make sure you have all your exact paperwork organized because we're going to walk through the specific chronological procedure you need to follow on the government's online portal.
All right, here is your roadmap. Step 1, identify your exact license category based on your expected turnover, like we talked about. Once you've nailed that down, Step 2 is heading over to the FoSCoS portal to create your account. From there, Step 3 is filling out Form A if you're doing basic registration or Form B for a state or central license. And make sure your details match exactly. After that, Step 4, upload your documents. You'll need things like a passport photo, a government ID, proof of address, and a list of your food products, all saved as crystal clear PDFs. Moving on to Step 5, pay the online application fee, which, by the way, is just 100 rupees a year for basic registration. Such a bargain. Step 6 is to track your reference number. And finally, Step 7. Once you're approved, download that certificate and display it proudly at your premises and on your packaging.
Now, you might be wondering, how long does this all take? This timeline should give you a solid expectation. Basic registration is remarkably fast. It's often approved by day 7 if your paperwork is flawless. State licenses, on the other hand, definitely take a bit longer, usually between day 30 and day 60, mostly because a local food safety officer often needs to schedule a physical premises inspection. Now, if your application stalls, don't just sit around waiting. The source explicitly advises being proactive here. Use the portal's grievance section or send polite written follow-ups to speed things along.
And finally, Section 5, avoiding costly compliance mistakes. Here's how to stay compliant long-term.
You know, when it comes to compliance, entrepreneurs usually take one of two paths. On the one hand, we have the chaotic, last-minute approach. This person waits until a platform literally demands a license, rushes the application, picks the completely wrong category, and then forgets to renew, eating a painful 100 rupee per day penalty. Yikes. On the other hand, we have the calm, proactive approach. This business owner applies before their very first order, they immediately update their license if they change addresses or add products, and they even set calendar reminders 2 months in advance to renew. I highly, highly recommend being the person taking the proactive approach.
And to stay proactive, you've got to pay attention to these frequently overlooked compliance areas. If you use groundwater, definitely schedule periodic water quality testing reports. Also, keep a simple pest control logbook right by your kitchen entrance. Inspectors absolutely love seeing that. Only ever use food-grade packaging materials for sure. Maintain a daily temperature log if you deal with perishable meat or dairy. And finally, think about adding product liability insurance for extra protection. Pairing an affordable insurance policy with your FSSAI license, that creates a bulletproof reputation for your brand. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought to consider. Is your FSSAI certificate just an annoying legal requirement to check off a list? Or is it actually the secure foundation of your future food empire? By starting early, getting the right category, and staying compliant, you're building a trustworthy, highly scalable business from day one. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope you feel empowered to take that next big step with your food venture.